Hello. So my boyfriend's 56. I'm 26. He's a really lucky guy. No, when I tell people how the age difference between us, the first question is obviously like, are you with him because of his money?
Oh, jeez.
And I'm like, yes. It's actually kind of funny story. We met at work, like so many romances do. He was my boss. And that also begs the question, did you have to sleep with him to get your job? And I'm like, oh my God, no, that's disgusting. I had to sleep with his boss. And she wasn't very good in bed, so I really earned that. No. I say so many bad things about him, but our relationship's really great. And it's he's always trying to find ways to like spice it up in the bedroom. Like in the morning we wake up and he's still alive. I put a little mirror under his mouth, see if there's a little air coming out of there. I'm like, are you alive? Am I in the will? No, he's always saying really nice things to me, like, oh, Kate, I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. But 6 months is a really long commitment for me, so I don't know. I was really worried when I told my parents about our relationship, because they were like, okay. But they really got along really well, and I was really excited about it. They had so much in common. Like talking about life during Vietnam and what the internet, did for them as adults. Two things I don't know anything about. I keep getting all these Google ads about cremation services. And I'm starting to think, is Google reading my G-chats about killing myself? It's not that I'm like depressed or suicidal, my life's amazing, I get it. But every time I go to work, I lose the will to live. We recently had this goals meeting where we had to talk about, like what we wanted to do for the next fiscal year. I really thought about it, and I found 2 things that I really think I can work on. The first being, I really need to stop fantasizing about jumping from the 2nd-story window. And I really need to take responsibility for myself and only drink 2 cocktails at lunch instead of 4. I work with my best friend, and she went to the meeting too, and I was like, oh, what were your goals? And she's like, I don't have any. You work here, you know. Have you ever noticed that the worst drivers on the road have some sort of Jesus bumper sticker? What would Jesus do? Cross 5 lanes of traffic without looking in your blind spot. It says, choose life while they're nearly ending yours. Like, Jesus, take the wheel while I merge without using a blinker. God is my co-pilot. No, so I recently went to France. It's a beautiful country. But before I even got on my plane, it got struck by lightning. I don't know, like that happens. I was like, that happens? People are like, yeah, every day. I was like, oh my God, it's terrifying. They told us that it was going to take like about an hour to check the plane, and I said to myself, that doesn't seem like enough time. Let's get this hunk of metal up in the air. These people gotta go to Atlanta. I called my mom and I told her, I was like, yeah, my flight got delayed. And she's like, oh my God, you know what happened? It's ISIS. I was like, yeah, Mom. ISIS figured out how to manipulate weather. And then said, you know who we should fuck with? Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They're gonna miss that plane of senior citizens so bad. Show them. So I get on the plane, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I made it. Because you know, like I had to run through the Atlanta airport, which if you've ever been to the Atlanta airport, it's like, why the fuck is that so big? We got a lot of people going to Atlanta, apparently. So I get on the little tram thing, it takes you from the one side to the other. And when you're in a really big hurry and you really want to get somewhere, you know how it takes forever? And the little tram thing is like, hello, you've reached Terminal A. If Terminal A was the destination in which you wanted to be, please exit the tram now. You can find a McDonald's, a Starbucks, a Delta Sky Miles, and a Sbarro. And you're like, cool. Here's the thing, look at me, I know where every McDonald's is in every major metropolitan airport this side of the Mississippi. I get it. And it's like, welcome to Terminal B. In Terminal B, you can find artwork by Miss Wilson's third grade class from Sacagawea Elementary School. And I'm like, fuck these kids, okay? Look, I don't need your autobiography. I need to go to the fucking plane, okay? So I finally get on the plane and I'm sitting down and this woman next to me pulls out a full bag of Tostito chips, like a full bag. And I'm thinking to myself, how did you get that through security? Like my 3.4 ounces of shampoo is a threat to national security, but your whole bag of chips is cool? It's like, if you're gonna smuggle that in, why didn't you smuggle salsa? Like, Jesus, like what kind of monster eats plain tortilla chips? Like, couldn't even get an El Paso Chunky Mild? Like, so then I'm sitting there waiting for the plane to go and she pulls out her iPad and starts watching The Hunger Games. Fun in-flight movie. And she starts to laugh. And I'm thinking to myself, is that a funny movie? Like, isn't that about a bunch of poor teens that kill each other to appease a sociopathic Donald Sutherland? Because that's the movie that I saw. It's like, whatever. I'm thinking to myself, I wonder what's next? The romantic comedy Schindler's List? All right, thanks guys, I really appreciate it.
Keep it going for Kate, everybody.